Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. On today's video, we'll be taking a look at Sony's legendary headphones. This is the WH1000XM3. XM3. Keep watching to find out more. So on today's video, we'll be taking a look at the legendary headphones that are the Sony WH1000XM3. I always get that wrong. XM3. I was close. It's only 2 digits wrong. Forgive me. But you will forgive me because for those of you that can't actually afford these headphones, we will be doing a giveaway on this video. So we are going to be offering a close contender, although not entirely that close, but we'll explain that a little bit later on. We'll be giving away a set of these. These are the MPOW H12 IPO headphones, which have active noise cancellation. So do these. 40mm drivers. So do these. Pretty good sound quality. So do these. So yeah, if you can't afford some of these, then you might just win some of these. If you do want to win them, all you need to do is send an email to the address below, which is mike@mikesunboxing.com, and just put the subject as win and give me a reasonable reason why you'd like to win these, and you may be the lucky one drawn out of the list in one of our live streams. That will be announced shortly. All the details of this will be in the video description below, so if you're not sure, then just read it and you can enter and potentially win yourself a set of noise cancelling headphones. But for those of you that are actually after something a little bit better, you might want to take a look at these. So this is the Sony WH1000XM3. I'll eventually say that correctly. It's quite a mouthful, but I guess if you break it down, Sony WH wireless headphones, 1000 range, and these are the XM, and they are version 3. So yeah, all makes perfect sense. These retail at the moment on Amazon.co.uk for somewhere in the region of about £180. You can pick them up on some actually fantastic deals. Being that these are slightly older headphone now, these actually came out in 2018, so they've been on the market a little while and they've been replaced by the XM4, etc, etc. So you can actually pick up some bargains. When these were first released, they were considerably more expensive, nearly topping £300 in some markets, so they have come down a lot already, but if you want to save even more, do check out the links in the video description and we'll try and find links to the cheapest versions of these available on the market right now. Now we should actually say these were sent to us free of charge for review purposes by UGLYBOB, and they will be winging their way back to him once we're done with them. So yeah, we can't give these away sadly, but maybe some other time. So all that said and done, let's get on and actually take a look at these, give you my impressions. We'll go through the unboxing, what you get, pros, cons, etc, and whether or not these are going to be the right headphones for you. So starting off with the packaging, as you can see, these are the black version. You can get them in black or white, so depending on which ones you want to get, go for whatever you choose. They did get the Watt Hi-Fi 5-star award, so that comes with yeah, somewhat of a level of prestige. So obviously these are decent. They're not the best, they're not perfect, but I think they come pretty damn close, as we'll find out later on. Also, it says about some of the extra features. Now these things are loaded with features, gadgets, gizmos and all that kind of stuff. So not only do they sound like a decent headset, they've also got a lot of features in there which can make life a little bit easier, and in some instances actually make life completely bearable, especially if you're in a particularly noisy environment, you're trying to concentrate, or maybe you're on a flight and you've got the constant drone of the airplane engines, or maybe you're on a long journey and just that hum of the motorway is driving you absolutely crazy. The active noise cancelling on these is absolutely fantastic, and possibly, I would say, probably the best in the business. And certainly of all the headphones I've tested over the 5 years that we've been doing this channel, I think these are probably the best ones I've experienced so far. So they support things like HD audio and aptX HD, HD high-res audio. You've got a 30-hour battery life, which I haven't actually tested 30 hours, because 30 hours of listening time on a set of headphones is pretty incredible. It does take a long time to get through that. A couple of hours a day is going to last you a couple of weeks at least. But if you are using these in extended periods and maybe the battery gets a little bit flat, they do have fast charge as well. So about 10 minutes on the fast charger, give you about 5 hours worth of battery time, which again is perfect if you're maybe going on an unexpected journey and you haven't quite prepared for it. Plug them in for 10 minutes before you leave. By the time you've brushed your teeth, washed your hair, the battery is going to be ready for you. So obviously they do support Bluetooth. These are essentially Bluetooth headsets, but you can also use them with a jack plug, as we'll see a little bit later. They're obviously wireless. Well, that is unless you use the 3.5mm jack, which is included. And clearly they've got noise cancelling, which is one of the primary features. On the back of the box, we've got a ton more features. Yeah, I'll do some close-ups of that. I'm not going to go through all that, but it goes through kind of most of the key things. So you've got HD cooling, you've also got the USB-C charging, 10-minute fast charge, etc., 30-hour battery life, easy to pair, voice assistant, headphone cable, etc, etc. Yeah, let's just take them out of the box and see what we get. That's probably a lot easier. Now, one thing that Sony always do particularly well is their packaging, and these are no exception. So we just take the box out of there. So we've got our inner sleeve, and we're greeted by the easy setup and configuration setup. So you can, if you want to, you can download an app from Sony, which is available on Android and iOS devices. You don't have to. I've actually used it on my PC and also on my phone without using those at all. But if you do want a little bit of extra granular control over these, then you can get the app and download that should you wish to. As we go into the box a little bit further, so we're presented first of all with the hard or semi-hard carry case, which is nice to see. And we get a whole bunch of Sony information, so user guides, setup guide, 360 reality audio free trial as well, all that kind of good stuff. So let's take a look at the actual headsets or headphones themselves. So one thing that Sony, again, they also do well is style. They are a very stylish set of headphones, and even things like accent colors, which has been translated into the zipper on the case as well. So a really nice little touch. So opening the case, we see the actual headset itself and some of our accessories. So let's take the headphones out first of all, and as you can see, obviously they are foldable and flexible, all that kind of stuff. Got fake leather headbands, which is what we expect to see these days. So that is like the PU leather, which is very common on pretty much every headset on the market these days. Very, very soft, very nice and very comfortable when you're wearing them. You've got the same on the ear cups as well. Very, very soft. These are extremely comfortable, and one of the first things you'll probably notice when you pull them out of the box is how light they are. When I first pulled them out, actually I was thinking, there doesn't seem to be a lot to these. It didn't appear to have a lot of weight to them. So the amount of technology they put in there, such as obviously the sound processor, because this is digital sound processing for noise cancellation, although we do have in here analog amplifiers. So rather than having those kind of digital, almost lossy formats for amplification, we've got analog amplification. So that is going to in turn give you a, not quite an audiophile level of audio, but certainly a step up from digital versions. But yes, the weight itself, they are extremely lightweight. So going to be very comfortable when you put them on your head. One of the first things you notice is you don't feel like you're wearing them very much. They are very, very lightweight, and if you put noise cancelling on, you forget they're on at all. Another thing you notice is the fact that it sounds like you've got a cold. You cannot hear the outside world. So even in the kind of the default mode, or basically turned off, i.e. if you're using these unpowered and using the 3.5mm jack, you are going to get a supreme level of noise cancelling. Now this is purely a passive noise cancelling. It is just purely the cups blocking out the outside world, but they actually do a really good job of that. And that is, and again, one of those things I did notice straight away. I put them on, it's like, oh, are they actually on already? Because you do get that immediate, oh, I'm in a tunnel or something, I cannot hear anything. It's a very unusual experience. So that is a plus point, definitely is going to isolate noise. The downside of that is as well, you kind of, it's difficult to explain. When they're actually in use, you can hear audio being played on these quite easily. Now I was listening to these earlier on my PC, set to about 50% volume levels, and Kath was actually sat on the other side of the room, and she could pretty much quite clearly hear what I was listening to. So there is that. If you don't want to be disturbing other people, then these are possibly not the ones to go for, which is odd, considering they are a closed back design. They do tend to leak a lot of audio, which is something which I didn't expect. I would have thought being closed they would kind of isolate it very well, but they certainly don't seem to. Anyway, back to the actual design itself. So we've got adjustable headband, as you'd expect, and that's all very nicely done on a nice ratchet system. So nice and easy to adjust. They are very flexible. There's a lot of flex and a lot of twist, and yeah, they are very pliable. So they're going to fit pretty much anyone's head without any problems. And the actual twist of the cups themselves it's weird because it feels really loose and it just wants to move. But the actual pivot point is pretty strong. There is wobble there, but it's not kind of uncontrolled. So it's almost like there's a bearing in there of some sort. So that's a really nice start. Obviously, when you're spending this sort of money on headphones, you are going to expect a more quality finish. Certainly, I've had other headphones in the kind of £50–60 brackets, which have had far, far worse setups than this, and I've actually felt a little bit like they're going to snap at any moment, whereas these on the folds, it's just a very premium feel to it overall. As is the plastics. All of this is plastic, so there's no metal on here at all. It is completely plastic based in this nice kind of satin matte black finish, but the plastics themselves seem to be extremely high quality and apparently very durable. So driver-wise, we've got 40mm drivers in here, which have been tuned as well, so that's always good. Frequency response, I did look on the Sony site to see what the frequency response is, because generally on headsets, headphones, speakers, etc., normally in the PC mark, you normally get somewhere between 20 Hz and 20,000 Hz is the kind of the normal range, whereas these list 4K up to 40,000 Hz. So that does go some way to explain the clarity and the kind of the tonal range of these when you're actually listening to them, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. But in terms of audio clarity, these are in a league of their own, they really are. Now, whether or not they're worth the money against something like the MPOW ones, which we reviewed a little while back, which you can check out up here, yes, definitely there is a difference in sound quality. But bearing in mind those retail for about £30, we picked them up for £15. These, even on a deal, it may be 150. At 10 times the price, are they 10 times as good? That is something which, obviously, the audiophiles amongst you will probably be able to validate one way or the other. But to me, a general consumer, just taking these out of the packaging, sticking them in, using them like a regular, normal human being, I've got to be honest with you, those MPOW do give roughly about 80%, maybe 90% of the kind of the tonal quality as these. So it is going to be one of those things where you have to really dig deep and think, do I want the quality? Do I want the brand? Do I want the features? Do I want that, just that gentle step up in sound quality? If it's noise cancelling you're looking at, then these are in a totally different ballgame altogether. The sound quality, whilst the noise cancelling is on, is just mental, and there's different levels of noise cancelling which do give it the upper edge. The noise cancelling on the MPOWs is okay. It takes away probably, I would say, 60% of the outside world, whereas with these, essentially, it's kind of, to me, it seems like it's at least 80 or 90%. So there's a massive, massive jump. Now, certain things, certain kind of well, noises, I suppose is the only way you kind of describe it, interruptions, I guess you would call them. So if someone is next to you and they shout at you, it's going to override it because it can't process it quick enough. But certainly things like humming, droning, a more distant vocal speech, so if someone's having a conversation the other side of the room, yeah, it's going to pretty much block it out, and unless you actually look over them and lip read, you're not going to know what they're talking about. But if someone's right next to you and they're shouting at you, then you are probably going to pick up certain elements of it. Or if someone claps in front of you, or maybe someone screams, that kind of thing, you can hear it, which kind of makes sense. If someone honks the horn, yes, you're going to hear it. So safety-wise, I think that's actually a really good thing. Another nice feature, actually, this, talking of that exact thing, is they do have like a attenuation, I think they call it, or basically it's kind of like a massive way of reducing the volume. So if someone actually is speaking to you, so say for instance you've got these on, you can't hear a damn thing because you're in sound cancelling mode or noise cancelling mode. If someone kind of taps you on the shoulder, you can actually use the touch sensor on the side here, and you can control basically loads of stuff which is going on. So you can do the usual things. So you can do volume up by swiping up, you can do volume down by swiping down. If you want to do loads of volume down, then just press and just swipe down and hold your finger at the bottom, and it'll go all the way down. If you want to change track, swipe forward and back for doing track forward and back, all that kind of stuff. Press twice to play and pause, that kind of stuff, or tap it to play and pause. If you press it and hold it, it actually goes into that kind of low volume mode. So it will reduce the volume from like the normal 100% that it's playing down to about 20 or 30%. So if someone is wanting to talk to you, it also actually invokes the kind of the ambient processing section. So if you've got them on, you're listening to your music, you're chilling out, etc., someone wants to speak to you, just press and hold like that, as if kind of like you're forcing your ear towards them. Just press and hold it, drops the volume. The microphones on the outside will then start pumping through the outside world into your headset. So not only does it reduce the volume, it also pumps through the outside world into your headset so you can hear what someone's saying, which actually is really good. I tried it out a little bit earlier and it does work particularly well. So we've touched on the noise cancelling. Again, there's various versions of noise cancelling. So you can have noise cancelling, you can have ambient surround, you can have ambient modification, all those kinds of things. In the app, you can go into a lot more depth on that. So you can use a slider to kind of choose your sweet spot. I think actually it works really well and it's very easy to actually use. One thing which some people don't like about these headsets is the fact that there's only two buttons which are active. Obviously on the side you've got the kind of swiping, etc., and on the other side you've got the NFC. Actually, I think the controls might be on that side. Am I holding it around the wrong way? I can't recall. Anyway, so you've got NFC as well, so if you want to do quick pairing with an NFC device, just tap it on there and you can pair it, all that kind of stuff, so that's really handy. But the buttons themselves, you've only got 2 buttons. So you've got one which is your ambient or NC button, or noise cancellation. So you can press that and it will cycle through the various types of noise cancellation and eventually turn it off as it goes around in the cycle. The other one is a power button, so you just press and hold that to turn them on, and you get a green light to say it's powered on, you get a blue light for Bluetooth pairing, all those kinds of usual stuff. Another thing you can do as well with these, because obviously if you've got your phone in your pocket and you don't want to get it out, but maybe you want to check on your battery level, it's actually pretty easy to do. Just press that power button and it'll tell you your battery level. So you press it and it'll say battery is full, or battery is at 0.75%, or whatever it is. So that is actually pretty cool. Also, you've also got the USB Type-C charging, which is really handy because most people these days are kind of USB-C. It does make sense, obviously, for quicker charging and all that kind of stuff. And you don't have to fumble around working out which way around the cable goes, so we like that a lot. You also got the 3.5mm jack plug. I did actually find on this particular set, the 3.5mm jack plug, when I plugged it in, now this is a genuine Sony cable, so it is all Sony stuff. I plugged it in, and first of all, I could only get sound on one side. I actually had to twist the headphone jack around to actually get it to sit in the socket properly to get both channels. And I thought that might have been just a one-off, just me being a bit stupid, not plugging it in properly. So I unplugged it, did something else, and then come back and I did the same thing again. And the same thing happened. So whether or not it is the cable itself, I'm not entirely sure. You do get a cable included, which is a right angle to straight 3.5mm jack. I didn't try it with the right angle one in the side of the headphones, so I thought that looked a bit stupid, and that normally would go into a device, I think. But yeah, that is something which I noticed. Let me know if there's anyone out there who actually has these or has tried them and they've experienced the same thing. I guess most people buying these are probably going to be buying these for Bluetooth connectivity. They're not going to be using them that often with 3.5mm, and maybe you've never used them with 3.5mm. Again, if you haven't, try it and let me know what your experiences are, and seeing if you're getting the same as me, or whether it's just maybe a slight bit of dirt on the cable, or it looks like it's brand new. So I don't think that is it, but certainly I'll be interested to hear what your findings are also. So going back to other features, so you've got microphone holes in the bottom there, so that is for your Bluetooth audio, so if you're making a call, etc. On the top of each can, you've got a little bronze accent there with a circle, and that is basically the microphone for noise cancelling, listening out, which actually matches the Sony logo, which is all very good. There is a downside of those mics being on the top for the noise cancelling, which I've seen some people have reported on. Personally, for this particular thing, it isn't going to be a big issue for me. But if you're one of those people that is flying on aeroplanes, which most people fly on, I guess, maybe even a coach, if you're in something which has a downdraft, so in airplanes and coaches, you've got those fans above you which blow down the cool air. Because of where they are, it does affect the noise cancelling on some of these headphones. A few people have reported it. It's going to be obviously a niche case thing. Not everyone is going to be affected by it, but it's one of those things, I guess, for some people might be a little bit of a deal breaker. If you're primarily buying these to go on a plane or travel on a coach or be somewhere where there's a constant downdraft, maybe you're in an office and you've got the AC right above you and it's blowing down, potentially this could ruin your experience. So yeah, it's one of those things which is a little bit weird, but I guess you'd have to live with it to some extent. Noise cancelling on most headphones works in the same way, so it evaluates what's going on around it. So if you've got air passing over the microphones, you are going to get issues. Another potential issue, which some of you may find if you're in slightly colder climates, is the actual touch controls on the side. If you're in a particularly cold environment, people have reported that the touch sensors go on the fritz. I'm assuming it's because there's a very close tolerance between the sensors and the plastic, or they're directly connected. So when it's cold, it kind of registers ghost taps, and potentially could kind of fast forward your music or increase the volume randomly without you actually having anything to do with it. Now Sony have worked on that. There is a kind of almost a fix for it. It's not an entire fix, but it kind of gets around it. Basically in the app, you can install the app and you can deactivate the actual touch control on the side. So yeah, it's not going to be a complete fix, and maybe actually there will be a firmware update going on further if they can to actually remove that altogether. But again, it's one of those things which really I should highlight, that potentially if you are in a very cold area, some of our European viewers do live in particularly cold areas, and those of you in certain areas of the States may find it as well. You do get those colder months, and if you're using this for traveling, potentially it could be a little bit disappointing, especially when you're spending in excess of like 150, maybe even £200 on a set of headphones. It's little things like that which I think make a difference in the overall experience of buying a premium headset and then having these kind of little weird quirks to work with. Anyway, that is that for that. Other than that, those strange little quirks, in terms of them being lightweight, foldable, obviously nice and easy to store, you've got the box that they come with or the carry case. The sound quality is excellent. I was listening to some music earlier and yeah, it does blow me away actually how good headphones have become. Some of you are probably thinking to yourselves as well, but okay, are they good on Bluetooth and on the 3.5mm jack? Quite often you find that devices on the 3.5mm jack will be better than Bluetooth, because Bluetooth being one of those kind of lossy formats, compressed, etc, etc, then there's going to be a difference in sound quality. And actually I'm pleased to report on both the Bluetooth and also the 3.5mm jack plugged into my PC, the sound quality was pretty much indistinguishable. The only time it does actually get a little bit different is if you're using the 3.5mm jack when these are powered off. So if they're in the completely passive mode, no power at all, there's a very, very slight drop in quality, which I guess you'd expect. So when you turn them on and you're using the 3.5mm jack, you do need to do that to get the ANC to work, even though they're not connected via Bluetooth. In fact, actually, if you have got them on already and they're in Bluetooth mode, and then you go ahead and plug in a jack plug, then it will automatically switch over and kind of deactivate the Bluetooth, so that's absolutely fine. But yes, you do notice there is a very slight uptick in performance, as in the actual amplifiers in these. So the amplifiers kick in when the power's on, as you'd probably expect, and there is a little jump in performance. The automatic noise cancelling works just as well in Bluetooth mode or 3.5mm jack mode if you're using it in that way. So yeah, I think that is that's pretty much everything I can say on these. So far, sound quality wise, they're what I would call a very kind of flat profile. If you prefer a more bassy sound or a more tinny sound or something like that, you can adjust it in the app, but you can't do it directly from the headphones. There's no way of changing them. So it's just a very flat but crystal clear profile. Listening to various tracks today, things like piano, I was listening to all sorts of music, classical, bit of Elvis, Lou Reed, hip hop, all sorts of stuff, and all of it just sounds really, really nice. The presence is there. There's a really nice sound stage. It's nice and open feeling. Doesn't feel constricted in any way. It just feels really nice and natural. For some people, you may prefer a slightly more bassy headphone as standard. If you do, then actually some of the cheaper ones do produce a little bit more of a bass line. I guess that's to really cover up some of their inadequacies in the lower frequencies and the higher frequencies. But yeah, overall, I can see why these get rated so highly. I'm slightly concerned about the price of them. I think for the money that you're paying, I don't honestly think you get a huge, huge uptick in some of the really extremely budget headsets. Being completely honest, now I am not an audio expert. I don't listen to music 5-6 hours a day. That's not my thing. But if you do, then maybe that clarity, that quality and that frequency range might be something that you're extremely, extremely into. Me personally, I just want to put on some headphones and distract myself for a few minutes or maybe watch a movie, in which case these are fine, but then again, also a lot of the cheaper ones are fine also. So hopefully that's some information for you there which is useful and will possibly help you make a decision if you do want to pick up a set of these, which there's no reason why you shouldn't, but also there's no reason why you shouldn't get some cheaper alternatives on the market as well, and try those and see how you get on. If you like it, maybe try these from Amazon, get them on a 30 days trial. If you don't like them, send them back, which seems like a fair way of doing it. So this has been Sony's WH1000XM3. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. Oh, and don't forget, if you want to win the MPOW headset, then don't forget to drop us an email. Again, all the information for that will be in the video description below. I think that's going to wrap this one up. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we will catch you, that's you, in the very next video. Thanks for watching.